Welcome to Soundcheck with Pastor Isaac. This is another episode that we're excited about. I'm bringing a great friend of mine to you today. His name is Jerome Smith. And so I'm going to let Jerome introduce himself. And then we'll probably talk about how we met and some other things like that. So let's introduce Jerome Smith. Hi, Jerome.
How you doing? Yes, like I said, I'm Jerome Smith. And I am, I first met you when actually we were in I was in high school.
That's right.
I was a drummer
Yeah.
at Midlothian High School, and I saw you. I was like, oh my gosh, because Midlothian, I was the only black student in the whole band, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I knew you were the only one in the drum line.
Right, yeah.
What?
There were not a lot of blacks at that school anyway,
Okay, right.
And so when I saw you, I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I can glean some things, talk,
Okay.
And so for me, it was like, another drummer,
Right.
that maybe I can connect to,
Okay.
And then years later, I saw you, and I was like, oh my goodness, I remember,
Yeah, the funny thing about that, you all have seen David Corey. He's come on before. He's my assistant here at the church. And David worked with Jerome, and I didn't know that connection was already there. And so I went by to visit David at the high school, Huguenot High School at the time. And David said, I have someone that I want you to meet. And so when we popped through your door, I was like, I know him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that was good too, because I remember he came in and we just started talking. And actually we met. We were our families connected, and
Right.
we went to dinner and everything. And they were like, "Well, what are you going? What school? What church can I go to?" And we were talking about that.
Okay.
And he came, and here we are.
Good. And you know what? Your mom is my mom's best friend. And I didn't know that was going to be that. But,
Right, yeah.
Was it because of us?
Right.
But man, I'm appreciating the giftings that God has placed in you. There's so many great things that you do. A lot of times we look at each other and we say, oh, hi, brother, and hi, sister, and we pass them on a weekly basis.
Right.
And we don't know the great things that are on the inside of them. So we're going to unpack some things that are in Jerome this week. And hopefully you can come back again, and we can, if we don't finish today, we can have another discussion on this.
Yeah. I remember when I was in high school again, a pastor came to my church, and he prophesied over me.
Okay.
And he said, you're going to work with kids, and you're going to be working in a creative manner.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, wow, okay.
Uh-huh.
I knew I was a drummer, and I did theater in high school.
Okay.
But I had no idea what he was talking about.
Okay.
So I went to college for theater.
Where did you go?
I went to James Madison University.
Yeah, James Madison.
Yeah.
Go Dukes.
Yeah, right. It was a great place. But I remember when I was a senior, I was like, I was going to New York.
Okay.
I had everything set up. I had family in New Jersey, and I was like a little bit. And New York was like a few, a little ways away, like maybe about 15 minutes.
Okay, so you were really close to the big city.
Yeah. So I had my family were like, you can stay with us, go to New York and do what you want to do.
Okay.
But I remember I prayed first. I was just graduated from college, but I was about to leave and go home to my parents' house.
Okay.
And then I said, Lord, is this what you really want me to do?
Uh-oh.
I said, I know I need to ask this question, Lord, but please, because I was like, I know what I'm gonna do, but
Right.
I just said, I need to ask you, Lord. As soon as I made that prayer, seconds,
Okay.
I got a phone call from a friend of mine who lived in Caroline County.
Okay.
And he said, I know you want to go to New York, but I'm working with these kids. Can you work with us? I'll pay for everything you need,
Okay.
and then you can go. And I said,
Was this summertime or what time?
yeah, it was.
frame this?
So I just graduated in May.
Okay.
So it was like, and I was going to go home. I'm going to go to probably in June. I was going to New York with my
Okay.
family.
Okay.
And so um, he made this, and I said, okay, Lord, I hear you, and I will go.
Okay.
And so I kind of stopped my plans to go to New York, and I continued and I did this, and that was a great program. I was working with kids in theater.
Okay.
We created a play that I wrote. It's a musical actually, and after that I was like this, and that was my first time working with kids.
Okay.
In theater, you know, and I was like, and it was a really good experience,
Okay.
you know, and that fast forward the end of that event. I was like, okay, Lord, this is what I need to do. Stay here in Richmond.
Okay.
You know, and then keep that going. And so that's how I got into working with high school kids.
Okay.
Know? Yeah.
And you still do that today?
Yeah. So yes. So as my journey is, you know, it's kind of unique. So being in Richmond, because God just let me there.
Okay.
There was a director that I needed to meet. God just knew I needed to find this person.
Okay.
Now, this person was from New York.
Okay.
And he had a theater company in New York. And he works with all kinds of people, like you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm talking about Denzel, you know, everybody. He knows him.
Okay.
And so he was in Richmond.
Okay.
And he established a company right here in Richmond. And so I met with him, and he became my mentor.
Oh.
But I was like, you know, God, how would you know that I would need to meet this man right here in Richmond?
Right.
Because he's a New Yorker, you know, and he knows everybody. I'll tell you one quick story. One time we were with him. His name is Ernie McClintock.
Okay.
And so we went. Me and Ernie went to the Kennedy Center,
Okay.
right, to see a play. And now Ernie knew a lot of people. He knew the director. And I will talk about who that is in a second.
Okay.
He knew the director, and some people were working on the show. So we went to the Kennedy Center where it was, and we didn't go into to the seats. He was like, "Come on, let's go in the back."
So you're getting the backstage pass right from the beginning.
From the beginning, and so we go to the back area. There's an elevator in there.
Okay.
And we press the elevator door. Debbie Allen opens the door. and what she said was, "Ernie, how you doing?"
Wow.
You know, and that's the kind. Also, I mean, like Tupac was his students as well that he trained.
Okay.
So he came to Richmond.
Okay.
Nobody knew about that, but
I didn't know that.
Right, and so we
We Compton and
yeah,
West
right,
Coast.
yeah, right. But see,
Wow.
my Ernie didn't know about his rap stuff. He just knew him as an actor.
Okay.
And so, he was there, and we met with him. And so, you know, so many people just like that.
Right.
That I had an opportunity to meet right here in Richmond.
And I'll throw in a verse. Your gift makes room for you.
Yes.
And it brings you before great people because they need to know Jesus too.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, you know, I guess I'll reflect on that time when I prayed. You know, I didn't know that I was gonna meet him and all the things that he had and people he knew. And I just got a chance to I just got a chance to really understand the life of the actor and who they are, and you know, and talk to those people, you know. And because of him, I've met so many famous people, you know, one-on-one, talking to people, you know.
Right.
And even now, I'll never forget. Now I'm doing film.
Okay.
Right, but there's a story there as well. With him, I asked him, because I want to do film.
Okay.
And he said, "Okay, Jerome." He was Jerome, do you want to be a filmmaker, or you want to do theater with me?
Okay.
And I knew at that time, I said, I got to just say yes because.
Okay, because that's a season.
Exactly.
But you're growing during these seasons.
Yes. And that season grew me.
Okay.
I mean, all the things he imported into me made me the artist that I am now.
Right.
You know, and I thank God for that. I mean, he wasn't saved, but God knew, okay, for this season, here's your mentor.
Right.
You know, and so with that, I was able to do so many things. Like my season with him, after that, I started working at high school.
Okay.
You know, professionally.
Right.
But I was equipped to take my students on competitions, and I mean, so we had a run. Thank you, Lord. I mean, we had a run where we were competing with students from Virginia.
Okay.
We beat everybody in Virginia.
Okay.
So then we had to go to the East Coast.
Okay.
We won that.
What?
And then finally, we went to England.
Okay.
To London and Scotland.
What?
to perform our show, you know? Yeah, you know? And that's because I waited from God's voice, and I followed that, and I was able to be trained, and then that training helped me to train other students.
Okay.
And we were able to do things like that.
Okay.
But, you know, and I look back because I remember this. In New York, the place I was supposed to stay in New York with my uncle burned.
Oh, wow.
Right. I don't know, and you know, you never know. I could have been in that fire. I don't know because I wasn't listening.
You were in the right place and not out of place.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And so I just reflect on all those things, you know. And you know, I remember all the things you were saying about your journey, you know, and I kind of remind me of my journey too, you know. I know you know the drummers and you know other people like that, you know, and it just remind me, you know, God, I just need to listen to you.
That's it, man. We often, you know, well, I'll say it like this: God gifted each one of us individually, even you all, with what you're supposed to have. Yeah. And whether you have professors or mentors that aren't saved or are saved,
right,
these people are going to help bring out and refine those things that are in you, because you're going to need that to help build the kingdom.
Exactly.
And it's necessary that you go through these steps and be patient with it, because I know you want to be at Z already, but God has you at B, C, D. And it has to be a process of time before these things come to fruition, and then you're like, oh, that's what God was doing.
Yeah, right, exactly, yeah. I mean, that big picture, right?
Yeah.
Where God knows the vision but we don't know it.
Right.
You know, and, you know, thank God for that, because I think I've been in so many locations and you know, just because of listening, you know, and I think it's been a good journey.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, Jerome, we're going to have to stop here because we're almost out of time. But what I really want you to do is to come back and talk about your theater company that you put together here in Richmond, and talk about the movie that you already made, and maybe talk about the project that you're about to make. Man, you guys got to come back next week. We're going to have some fun, and I'm so excited that Jerome can come out. Any last things you want to say before we end this session?
I just thank God for everything, you know. Just always connect to God and understand what your purpose is, and He'll follow you. You know, without Him, you know what's gonna happen.
We can't do anything without Him. We can do nothing. Y'all know that verse, and it is absolutely true. But Jerome, thank you for coming on. God bless you. See you next week.